Did I forget that?
All right, guys. Wishes in the house.
Yes.
Your
Watch your
mouth.
mouth.
Good morning, Lagos, and good morning,
Goes
everybody
back to you
listening.
too, Oris.
Exactly. Watch your mouth, Oris.
It's been on
Oris.
my nerves this morning.
Happily to be on your nerves, actually.
Oh, wow. Well,
Your
thank you
mouth.
guys for joining and welcome to the show. As always, we love you to be a part of this conversation. So get in touch. Let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at smooth981. And best part is we are streaming the show live on YouTube. So you can actually catch the live stream and see all three of us, yes, in the studio having this discussion right now. I just waved. Yes, that's me. So search for Smooth981 on YouTube. Let's get straight into it. Okay, yesterday it was like almost a bloodbath. People were hitting front, left, right, center. I mean, below the belt, in the neck region, everywhere, no part was spared. Yes. So, Peter Okoye and Seun Kuti having a bit of a difference in opinion.
A bit.
Hmm.
Understatement of the
You that
century.
just explained. Did you imagine the girl picture she just
Exactly,
painted?
and then she
Then you
said
now
a bit.
come and give us soft landing.
I realized
Go
that
ahead.
I had said too much. I'm like, okay, let me just tone it down a
Nah,
bit.
go ahead. You are not wrong.
Okay, so these two artists who are very well respected, very well loved, for some reason just kept going back and forth, and family members were catching strays, people who weren't even involved in the conversation, and it was all about politics. How do people talk about politics and get so heated that they start actually having personal fights?
Yeah, I keep saying that every 4 years in Nigeria, alliances are like rearranged and reconfigured.
Mm.
Um, I think 2015 there was this big fight on. I remember that was back when Facebook was a thing. Anyway, there was this big fight until as we speak, a lot of those people who fell out
Mm.
till today, no, they don't speak.
Wow.
So yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's inevitable around this time that people, former friends, become like enemies, and then some enemies also become friends. With this particular case, I think I am on the side of. I have to say, I have to declare my side. I'm on the side of Seun Kuti actually,
Mm.
because I think for one, he's certainly correct. He's also fluent, and I think he's way more intelligent than the great P Square.
How? Wait.
I have to say that.
Oris.
I have to say, yeah. I said what I said, you know. I have to say that. Yes.
Watch your mouth.
I really have to say that. I don't think you could listen to what Seun said and not, if you could try and strip off your bias and see that you know what he's actually saying the truth. Because of course the person who is in the middle of all of this is the chosen, the golden child of today's politics, Peter Obi. Yeah, and frankly, Seun said he is one of them. And you know, I have to say, I think he's one of them actually.
Well, can people not voice their opinion
Wow.
in ways
But
that are
that's
not
the thing. But yeah, but
disrespectful?
Seun voiced his, Peter voiced his. I'm just saying that to my mind, I think that Seun is correct. It's not like Peter doesn't have a point. That's the truth. I feel like he has a point as well. But the fact of the matter is, we shouldn't forget this guy too is one of the political elites. It's the truth. So even if you're going to vote for him, understand that, which I think it was Seun Kuti's point. I do not understand the bit where he's saying that we should vote for what's his name, Showere. I'm not sure about that part, you know, but I must say that I feel like the man has a point.
So I'm trying to understand what point Oris is talking about. But for the basis of analysis, I'm not going to take a side. However, I'm going to analyze both parts and then just sort of have the people decide. I'm sure everybody would have. I mean, a lot of people that are listening right now already have.
Okay, let me just give you a little backstory. So, Seun Kuti went live on his Instagram page, I believe, and he shared a lot of thoughts, and he said that Peter and his brother P Square were people who had performed for artists in the past and for politicians in the past, and he doesn't believe that they have the right to tell him who to vote for. And it got personal from then on. Family members were dragged in. One said, without your family name, you're nothing. The other one said, you are living in the slums. Another one said, you and your family are fighting. It was a whole lot.
Okay, Julie. So before we get to the part where Seun said something about P Square, I think it started with when Seun, in an interview that Seun did, where he said no Nigerian president or something.
No,
no
no,
president
no one of the candidates can save
can
Nigeria.
save Nigeria. That it's only Nigerians that will
That
save
can save
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
So I think Peter responded to that,
yes, and
saying
said that
something about
he was erased. That by saying that he had erased his father's legacy.
thank you.
Oh,
And as
that
you
was
can
the
imagine-
beginning.
Yes, that was the beginning.
That was the actual
And as you can
beginning.
imagine, that got Sheung riled.
So Peter, jumped on Sheung's opinion. All right. So now let's go to the whole dirty, the word war, so to speak. you know.
Word
So
war.
now, like, I agree with always that Sheung made a point. However, when it comes to when you say the point, the elite, I'm saying that this guy is an opportunist. Peter Obi is an opportunist.
That was the word.
I really, cannot place, or I mean, how else do people come or take advantage of the situation? So it may be opportunistic in a certain way. However, whether you like it or not, Peter had intention, not just this year, not just last year, to run for presidency. So it doesn't matter whether.
Okay, when you said Peter, I almost blacked out. Like, which of the
Peter-
Peters now?
Peter Obi,
Okay.
Peter Obi, right? But now let's even try to put it down on the table again. That it doesn't matter we have a lot of other candidates who are running, but actually, somehow, some way, Peter is able to shine. Peter Obi has been able to shine.
Yeah, so there are a
Especially-
few candidates that are at the head that seem to
Yes,
be
that are
leading the
almost
pack.
like the big one.
Yeah.
You have the big party, and then
Mhm.
this is a relatively unknown party that came up heavily this time around. So I feel like everybody has a right to their own political opinions, and Peter shouldn't have jumped on Sheung's. Sheung has been very vocal. Sheung is, in fact, Sheung says the things
So
that
it's consistent.
yes, Sheung says the things that you cannot, a regular guy, a regular person cannot say. Sheung was on his Instagram live, and it's still there on his page, where he was calling out the president's wife. Say, I'm calling you. You ate the country's money and you are fat. Whoa, he did that on. Do you understand? On the World Wide Web, it's still there, and he said, "Call your DSS, come and arrest me."
And this is
I
in response
cannot.
to a young man that was said
Arrested
to
for
have
that,
been
yeah.
arrested
Do you
for.
understand?
Summons.
That's something that always cannot just come and even as bold as always is to come and say, "Oh, I'm good."
That would be a time for us to watch his man.
Yeah. So, but I just want to say that Peter
Okay,
shouldn't
this
have.
is
And then something that Peter did as well that I feel like I won't approve of. I didn't approve of was the fact that he now did the post and then called them this baby even
Madi.
Burna Boy, and then he put Madi. Did you see Madi's response? Madi said, "Don't put me into a conversation that you're having about my family. That's
Exactly, because you're family.
let it be known that we as a family we are."
Okay, but I want
together."
to ask this though. I know everyone is entitled to their opinions, whether it's about facts of life or certain things, politics. Are people also not allowed to change their minds? Because in that same life, Sheung Kuti did say that when he was barely 18 years old when he supported the former governor of Lagos State. So obviously he's grown and he's changed his opinions and his perspective. Can that same grace not be extended to Peter as an individual who may have performed for certain political figures in the past and has now also grown, evolved, and changed his perspective?
Look, here's the thing. I think that we are making Sheung's comments into this one thing. He said several things. One of the things he said was that he didn't support the fact that Peter was working with a few gambling companies. So that too was that's so I think what he was saying was, how can somebody who is doing this, who is supporting something that's detrimental to your health, tell you who to vote for? Which is why he will say eventually the power has to come down to the average Nigerian's hand, not with these people. He was saying this man has made so much money promoting stuff that's harmful to you. Why do you want to listen to him at this particular moment? I think
mean,
that's
that would
a
be a
valid
matter-
comment to make.
It is.
Frankly.
And then Peter responded by saying, but you, though, your own lifestyle is a certain way. You indulge in this, you indulge in that. So it was a bit of an equal, okay, if you give, you receive it.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. I
Really?
don't think that's fair. Because
I
I think that I'm not sure that Sheung says, hey, do this. Peter was online, practically every week, telling people to, I don't know, like Sheung said,
To gamble.
to win a TV with 20 naira or something. He was saying all of that. So look, my point is, and anyone, for someone like me who, well, I like to think that I belong to the intellectual class, I cannot in good conscience say to you that somebody as prone to broke shaming as Peter Okoye is somebody serious to take serious. Frankly, I can't say that. So when I see what he was saying, I'm just like, dude, man, this is a lot of shallow analysis that's going on here.
No, but we weren't expecting them to go, or Peter to go that deep. I want to just feel like
no, but Peter can't go that deep. It's not about one
exactly.
He can't go that deep. He just doesn't have it.
Yes,
listen to their songs.
Everything when it comes to war, whatever that goes down is fair. Do you understand?
All is fair in love and war.
Exactly.
I
So
agree.
even at that, I just feel
they
like
are war crimes, by the way.
it got to a point. I know, but you get what I'm saying. That it gets to a point, or in that particular conversation where you just feel like you just throw caution to the wind and say whatever you want to say, just to try to get the other guy. But Sheung will not back down. Sheung will never back down. Sheung is very strong about his opinion.
But you know what? It's a good thing that this battle started on social media and hopefully ended on social media.
Hopefully. But I don't think. I think it will end there. Although, to be fair, people are debating in their houses, so there's also that too.
And Jibade Oluwaseun says, guys, all is fair in love and war. Okay, so let's move on to our next story. Now, the Lagos State Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture says the government will be using entertainment to sensitize the youth against illicit use of drugs in the States.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump on that quickly. Okay. Guys, you see, that same entertainment you're going to use are some of the heaviest users of this same drug. So so if we are factual, so I just feel like whatever position you just look for nice things, or just look for some fancy thing to say to the people. But if we are factual, you're saying you're going to use it. Sensitize if you're going to sensitize, but when you want to say you use the entertainment industry guy, who we can count. Let me not. Always go ahead.
Yeah, so I just don't think. Yeah, I think it's really weird to use entertainment to I've always wondered, to be honest, how much influence when it comes to social vices entertainment really has. I honestly don't know. I can't say that those things work. But I think now that we are around the time of elections, these people just say anything, to be honest. That just sounds kind of nice, because I'm not sure it has ever worked. In fact, I remember this story from years ago. There was a kid actor back in the day. I think it was a teenager thereabout.
In Nigeria?
No, this was in the US. Who was campaigning an anti-drug thing campaign, and then years later he was rehabilitated. He was rehabilitated to the rehab. And I recall that as an older person, he was giving the story that the day after, in fact that same evening, after he was on TV campaigning, he went to use a truckload of drugs.
Wow.
You understand? So I always wonder, I do not know that these things work, honestly, but like I said again, I think we are in a period where people will say what they need to say just to kind of get attention and make it look like they're actually working. I do not believe they are.
It's a good thing, right? But it's a good thing to try to sensitize people and let them know that, this drug business is harmful. It could kill. It causes conflict. But considering that the artists we have in Nigeria, just like you've both pointed out, they glorify the use of illicit drugs. It's in the lyrics of the songs, it's in the videos, it's on their social media. So it's a bit of an irony. Maybe another group of people who would advocate for clean living, maybe athletes, I don't know.
But that's a good thing, because for me the question is, what then would be the solution? Entertainment, I don't think works, frankly. I always feel like you need strong structures, and you need to make your positions well known. So there are laws against these things. If people are arrested and made examples, I think that's the best way to go about this stuff. Just don't just campaign. Let's show us that what so person did this. Here is what happened. You understand? I think that's usually a sufficient deterrent, especially if the people in Nigeria is people. There's two different laws. If you are one of the halves, there's a law for you. If you have not, there's another law for you. If we can find a way to harmonize those and harmonize the enforcement, I think it's a lot better than campaigning with entertainment.
Do you think that perhaps Nigeria could go the same route as Jamaica? So Jamaica has this rule where right now you cannot have music videos or music or lyrics that suggest violence or drug use in any way. It's now illegal. Will that work in Nigeria?
It depends. Even with talk about kind of music. Here NBC bans any music that glorifies the use of drugs, sex, and which is why even when you play it on radio, you have to censor it and stuff. we have a body like the Headies as well that sort of checks all of these things well in terms of the kind of music
Yes,
they
nominated.
nominate as well.
Mm.
So I mean there are a few measures. I mean, so not necessarily the way you're talking about Jamaica, it's not legal here in Nigeria. It's just what it is.
The
We are
implementation.
saying that when the commissioner, is it commissioner,
Mhm.
is saying that he wants to use the entertainment industry to address, we're just saying to him that if he doesn't know that that's the, that's as small as it is, they are heavy users of the substances and the things that he's trying to sensitize.
All right, Tayo says, when last did I see a music video that didn't have a puff of smoke in the intro? Lagos State government is looking for moral ambassadors. Let's go on to a break, and when we return, we'll continue the conversation here. This is The Grapevine on Smooth 98.1.
And that was a smooth first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, of course, we must find a way to catch Peter and knock his head.
Peter looks fit though. Peter works out.
that's
I
why-
can guarantee that
that's-
you would win a battle with
No,
me.
I did not say fight.
I don't think it gets that point.
I did not say fight.
I don't think it
No,
gets that
it's
point.
Oris.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what
I did not
I'm
say I
saying.
want to
That's
fight.
what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying that let's just find a way to like tranquilize
Always
him.
is just a hater. Always is
I'm
just
not a hater. I'm not a
doesn't
hater.
like-
I'm a lover. I'm
He
a
doesn't like
lover.
Peter.
I'm a lover.
Oh, he
He
doesn't.
doesn't like Peter. He doesn't like Peter Square.
I would, yes, I won't lie. As a younger man, especially when I was in university, I was one of the people who was campaigning actively against P Square's supposed
Can you imagine?
genius. I was, to be honest, because then you have a
the
lot
people
of
think
people
they were
where
geniuses.
no, but no, that's not true.
Well, you have to
Nigeria
give it
is
to the guys.
once
though.
you have
They worked.
once you
they
have
put in the work.
once
and
you
they
have
the
money in Nigeria,
longevity.
once you have money in Nigeria, you are everything. Everybody wants to come and seek to you. So anyway, at the time, they had all of these hits back then. So I remember that I used to always tell people that, look, listen to what they are saying. Some of their songs, I think, to be honest, actually make sense. That Chop My Money, for instance, I think that song actually is a bit of a, how do I put it?
Oh, I love that.
It's like a short commentary.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they are saying chop my money, people actually want to eat their money because they're famous, So I feel like I understand that. But a lot of the times you look at their songs, you're like, what really are you guys saying? There was this line I used to laugh about in school. I am standing all alone on my own. Almost like that's an interesting conference. And you are two. Twin brothers, are you this one you to come? Your two knuckleheads.
But
This one you
sometimes
come together with.
lyrics don't always make sense.
Please, no,
They just make you
please.
feel
That
good,
kind
don't
of
you enjoy
whatever.
the
Anyway, so I just want to know these guys are not serious. So I can't take them seriously on that level. So to now have people like that show up and then they're supposed to be telling me how to.
But that's
live
the
my
truth. No
life.
one can really
I
tell
cannot,
anyone.
yeah.
So that's just
But
probably
yeah,
them
but yeah,
sharing
but-
their opinion. Though,
No,
right?
no, that's not the case. Peter is actively campaigning for Peter Obi. His namesake.
What? Smooth 98.1. This is The Grapevine. This is an interactive conversation all about entertainment. So please get in touch. Let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at Smooth981. And we are streaming live on YouTube as well. So just search for Smooth981 on YouTube and you can catch the live stream. Okay, let's see. Ajibade says Sean Kuti needs to shut it. Chasing clouds. How can you say the real ruler will come from the ordinary people who jump queues at fuel stations and see cheating others as a norm or God's blessings? They are not even out on the ballot. He just wants to talk, and it's a shame because that interview was a disgrace on his father's legacy.
No,
The
come on.
tragedy
What-
of our
what
nation
is
is
this guy
in
saying?
those who see someone who is just playing to the gallery as deep. Seriously? Okay. And let's see. Okay, we'll come back to the messages in just a little bit. But Nollywood actress and someone who could potentially, I mean, she is in the running, be the next deputy governor of Lagos State, Funke Akindele, has announced that her mom has passed away. That statement was released by the family. And a lot of people did take to their pages to share their thoughts and well wishes with Funke and her family.
Yeah, we say may her soul
Rest in peace, indeed, yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right, so let's move on to a lawsuit or, potential lawsuit. So Mr. Easy has called out Bad Bunny for copyright infringements, and this is on a Joe Boy song. So Bad Bunny is somebody who knows how to get insane numbers. I don't know how with his music. He's made
Sure
a
you
lot
don't
of
know
money.
how.
I mean, I don't know if the music is that great, or maybe I just don't see it. I guess he has his target demographic, right? But yeah. So could we potentially see a lawsuit happening? An African artist suing this Latina artist who is so big around the world for copyright infringement.
Trust me,
No
Mr.
way.
Easy has gone beyond being your average African artist. By the way.
Are you sure?
Yes, he has gone beyond that. So, but I mean, I'm sure they will get. Look, these things are very simple. This, I mean, as the same way we say the world has become a global village. What's his name again?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny has a distributing company. We don't need. It's not even that complicated at all.
True.
It's sometimes an email. Everything will be sorted. So all they need to do is clear. It's not even like a big deal. All he needs to do is clear permission and sampling for of the song of the record, where they will assign, if they're going to be assigning a certain percentage, I'll still go to Joe Boy, or if they will be, you understand, but that's all that needs to be done. So it's not a big deal to, I'm sure it will, but it's okay to call the person out to and then talking about, you just said something about how they're getting numbers. I mean, think about Gangnam Style. Do you know how much?
Yes.
How many, what the number is?
Yeah, but
Once and never again.
But that's exactly what I wanted to say. But I think because I think Bad Bunny has I think he has managed to sustain his popularity past 15 minutes. So I don't think Psy, the Korean, I think was Korean. I don't think it's a good example. But I think on the level of this of the potential loss, I don't think anything's going to happen, to be honest. And for me, it's really more surprising that it's Mr. Easy who is doing this, because he has a song with this guy actually.
With Bad Bunny.
J Balvin, yes, the two Latino guys, and
Even that song was
from
even
2019 actually.
Was even nominated at the Grammys. What's called Latino Grammys.
Yeah, so it's so I'm just like, okay, that's a little strange. I would have assumed they have some kind of, but who knows?
But
these days, but these days where people do songs without actually ever meeting. So who knows? Maybe they actually don't have that person.
Relationship.
I was thinking that they would have that because of that song. But I just realized actually today, you actually look at the Drake and Whiskey tape, where they said they actually met after, quote unquote, doing 2 songs together.
Wow.
So so maybe that's the case, because I was surprised, like, okay, these guys are supposed to know each other, but maybe they actually don't.
Okay, but I'm curious, was Easy on the Joe Boy song as well?
No. Mr. Easy, if you remember, had this thing called Empower, which is like a record label that gave a bunch of artists opportunities.
Also a distribution
and
company.
So Joe Boy, actually Mr. Easy's artist. I don't know if they're still working on that level anymore, but that very first song, that's My Baby song, was actually on Empower, which is Mr. Easy's
okay, all right, makes sense. I was wondering why he was a spokesperson.
Like, why are you the one talking for this guy? Well, yeah, they have business together.
Okay, so a Grammy weekend, and I know you definitely saw that post and delete from Didi. Yeah, that Didi allegedly the fake. Well, Didi says it's fake. I found it on some pages.
No, it's fake.
Is it?
It's fake. It has to have been fake. There is absolutely no. Zip is like, you have taken away my controversy from me.
No, because
it was not on CNN. It wasn't on any of the.
I don't think CNN would be reporting on Didi's Instagram post.
Let me tell you something. Don't forget that when I don't want to say Burna Boy lost.
When he didn't win.
He didn't win the award. You understand? Yeah. And it's funny. I mean, this is something that just even happened the first one. You understand? He has haters on social media who are just waiting and hoping that he doesn't win. And when he doesn't win, they come for him.
Action.
So I feel like, I mean, this is social media. I don't believe everything is on social media. Somebody has just gone there to
tweak it,
posted it.
Yeah.
And that was all a lot of people saw, and it went viral again. And that's because, I mean, it was coming from the tail of the trolling that they were trolling Burna Boy, who hasn't even responded to them, by the way. And then
he'll be back, don't worry.
Of course.
You can be sure.
And then Didi, of course, he just put it there fake. I mean, it's fake news. It was never on his
So that's the story. Didi is now saying that, look, this thing didn't happen. It's all fake. So I guess we can move on from it.
I think we cannot move on. No, we won't move on. We won't move on. You know why? Because now I'm now thinking to myself, recall that there was some kind, it was never talked about, but I think there was some kind of tension between Beyonce's camp, or Beyonce herself, and Burna Boy after the Black is King soundtrack. Because if you remember, everybody seems to have been talking or promoting their own part of, like, their contribution to that particular album. Burna Boy didn't. And I remember they asked him, I think it was Trevor Noah, I think, in one of his interviews where they were asking him about like that collaboration. And there's a way he responded, I was like, okay, this is a little strange that he's talking like this about this thing. You get? So I'm now wondering now if this became a room of any sort, and then you have Diddy just say fake as opposed to even like giving any kind of background. I now wonder if is Burna Boy and Diddy, are they in a good place? I wonder. I
Well,
just
how
wonder
many
because
artists
that
are in
man
a good
that
place
man
with
is a
Diddy,
very.
though?
we
I
did
don't
it.
know a lot of artists that
That's
he's
not true.
worked with that are in good
Oh yes,
places with
in
him.
the past. But I would assume that this is an African guy. They don't really have strong business together, so I'm not sure why they. Because the problem with Diddy and his artists has always been money. I just don't know that there was a lot of exchange of money in this case, so I'm not sure why they should fall out. But I just think Burna Boy is not the most well-behaved person in the world. So who knows?
Let's
Who
not
knows?
also forget that, I mean, with the rave and attention that Afrobeat, I do have the quote, it's getting or has been getting in the past how many years. There are a lot of people, even the guys Diddy included, a lot of people are looking for ways to tap and also explore, I have to say. And then yeah, he got that shot with that, but when you say he executive produced, but when you say executive produced, does that mean that he invested in the production of that album or that project? We really don't have the details, but I mean, he was credited, so to speak, and it's just what it is. But like I said, ordinarily, nobody, which is why it brings me back to the whole Mr. Easy and Bad Bunny thing, that business is just business. A lot of times,
Nothing personal.
We've not even seen people together before. Have you come to Nigeria to come and say, okay, what is going on? Do you understand? So, but it's just business. And I don't know, when he talked about that album, the Beyonce Black is King album, sometimes these things, okay, let me just play not the devil's advocate, but let's just put this theory on to you. That was also around the same time when Burna and what's his name, Shatta Wale were having their beef as well. That was also yes.
It was. I think it might have been a little after. A little after.
Beyonce did a video and shot a video
with
Shatta Wale. Don't forget, and probably I don't know if she shot other ones, but you know, I would think that Burna Boy would have thought that they would have shot his own video. Do you understand? Or they would have done a video together. So, and if that doesn't happen, Burna Boy will just look at it and okay, whatever, you know. And Burna was also working on his own project. So Burna, I think the guy is smart. He will calculate the situation and just know that if this is not going to favor me proper, and who knows what the split sheet
exactly
had to say.
Because Beyonce, remember that.
If it's not going to favor him proper, then what am I promoting for you for? So that's
but I'm saying the interview. That's what I was saying about the interviews. That you just some people just take this and they take it and then let it go. But it feels to me like Burna isn't the person to let certain things
slide.
Exactly, slide. You know?
Time.
So yeah, time and again, exactly. It's like he's not that kind of a person. So it's kind of like the more sophisticated Portable. You know, people who will call you out. But he didn't do this in this case. But I thought that interview, just the way he responded to the Beyonce question was like very, very suspect. Nobody responds to Beyonce's collaboration in that manner. I'm serious. Even the guy who collected her before she came at the Grammys just this past weekend, the Dream, he even had there was a thing about how even Neo actually also, there was a thing about him writing a song for B, and then people were saying that, are you sure Beyonce actually even had a hand in this song? And then he was very eager to say, you know what, she comes in the room and she changes. I mean, it just felt like something that was patronizing, but something that at least Beyonce will listen to and feel okay that you know.
Let me make this is a
was
and add an S
that.
at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Ted says Seun Kuti needs to stop. Being more intelligent doesn't make you right. And to the man supporting Seun in the studio, that is Oris, by the way. What's your Instagram handle so he can find you?
Catch your Instagram and
literally,
catch your on Twitter.
Literally,
just exactly catch your wrist.
All right.
Come on, grab me.
To catch Oris. Please debate without appearing to be on one side. And Tile says, imagine your ex using your ex to win a Grammy. Stefan Dunn didn't agree to that arrangement, but his reaction so far is better than Chris Brown. The dude is so petty. It's like Burna Boy gave Beyonce a spare track for her album that year. See, yeah, I don't mind using your ex
But
to win a
Chris has
Grammy.
apologized, just to say this, Chris Brown has apologized, by the way. So
That
yeah.
apology, it was okay, but there were still some digs in that apology. It was an almost unapology.
It's better than nothing. I think it's better
So
than nothing.
can I quickly read this comment from Sean? He said
Yes.
that he said his opinion that Peter has gone that Peter went extreme to have insulted the Kuti family by saying that he Shehu erased his father's history, that he felt that insult to
Personally.
his chest.
Mm.
So I don't think I also agree that was extreme, saying that you cannot even erase.
It's
Well,
not possible.
according to
I mean-
Ajibade on WhatsApp, all is fair in love and war. And that is all the time that we have for the Grapevine this morning. And thanks for joining us. Thank you, James. Thank you,
Thank you,
Orit.
James.
Thank you for catching the live stream. But do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.